My Roblox friend sent me a trade worth thousands of Robux, and then immediately told me whatever you do, don't accept it. And I stared at the trade, and he was offering a rare pet I had wanted forever. So obviously my first thought was, this dude finally lost his mind, and I typed why, and he didn't answer. And instead he sent another message that just said cancel it, and now I was suspicious. So I checked his profile, and it was same avatar, same display name, same everything. So I asked, did you get hacked? And he replied, I don't know. And then he just left the server. So now I'm sitting there with a trade worth thousands of Robux, and absolutely no explanation. And a minute later, another player joined, and he looked at the trade request on my screen and said, wait, you got one too. And I said, got what? And he showed me his screen, and it was the same pet, the same offer, the same account. And then he typed, don't accept it. And apparently 3 other players had received the exact same trade, and one of them had already accepted. And that's when things got weird. And he said, bro, my entire inventory disappeared. So I immediately canceled the trade, and then I checked my friend's profile again, and his account was online, but he wasn't responding. And I messaged him privately and got nothing. And then someone with his exact display name joined the server, same avatar, same clothes, even the same profile picture. And he walked over to me and sent the trade again. And this time I checked the username, and my stomach dropped because it wasn't my friend's username. It was almost identical with just one extra letter, and the real account had been compromised earlier, and whoever was behind it had copied everything, and they weren't randomly sending trades. They were looking for people who wouldn't check the username. So I declined the trade, and the fake account immediately left. And a few minutes later, my actual friend finally got back into his account, and he messaged me, did you accept it? And I said no. And he replied, thank God. And then he paused and said, wait, what did they offer you? And I told him, and he didn't respond for about 10 seconds, and then said, bro, that's my best pet. And I said, I know. And he replied, I've been trying to get that back for 6 months, and I felt terrible. And then he sent another message that said, actually, thanks for not accepting it. And I said, no problem. And then another trade request appeared from the same fake account with the same ridiculous offer, and I declined it immediately. And my friend asked, how did you know? And I said, easy. I checked the username, and he replied, good, because I would have accepted that thing. And I stared at the screen and said, you told me not to. And he replied, I know, but it was a really good pet. And I just sat there thinking I almost got scammed because my friend apparently has the self-control of a toddler in a candy store.